This video is brought to you by America First Insight. Help support the growing conservative movement by becoming a member today. And if you want to support this channel, you can also use the code REAL when becoming a member. Thank you and enjoy the video. As everybody probably knows, we had major elections a couple nights ago on Tuesday, and Republicans got absolutely crushed. This was not just a normal defeat. This was one of the biggest defeats for the Republicans we have seen in a very long time. This was a blue tsunami across the board, and not just by 1 or 2 points. We're talking about a 10, 15, 20-point shift in some areas. They got crushed in basically every race of note, and it was just pathetic. And it was in every single race, not just in Virginia, but in New Jersey, places like California, everywhere outside of like maybe a race or two in like Texas or whatever, in New York. It was a pathetic showing for the GOP. And we got to talk about why this happened and what the results showed, because this is bad. Don't let the people fool you on Twitter. This was a blue tsunami. Some people are claiming, well, it wasn't that bad because these are Democrat states, which, to be fair, that is a valid point to a point where it's like, okay, we're talking about Virginia. This is a Harris plus 6 state. The Commonwealth of Virginia voted for Harris by 6. New Jersey plus 6. So yeah, these are Democrat areas, and this was an off-year election. Fine, that's one thing. But the problem isn't that we lost. It's how bad of a defeat this really was. And especially for races that we had a good shot at winning. Like, most notably, the AG race in Virginia. This one shocked me. Not because we lost, which I thought Mears was the slight favorite because Jay Jones had all those scandals and it seemed like he was going to lose, but still, he had a chance to win and he won. But it's not because he won by a half a point. He won by nearly 6. And for the record, this is a bigger margin than Harris won Virginia back in 2024. Yeah, Jay Jones, having one of the biggest scandals of the year, did better than Kamala Harris in Virginia. If this was a 1-point defeat, that's one thing, but you're talking about plus 6. Guys, this was not a small defeat. That is an absolute beatdown. And it really happened in Virginia, at least, because we got absolutely crushed for the governor race. This was the reason why Jason Mears went down. Because Winsome Sears, who was never a good candidate, she was very weak, she ran an awful campaign, she lost not by 10, which was what most people thought. She was going to lose by a big margin, but maybe in a best case scenario, she gets it within 10, which would be more than enough for Mears to win. She lost by 15, almost 15. It was pathetic. And that's why Mears lost. Sears dragged the ticket down so much that people like Mears lost. If she would have lost by only 10, Mears probably wins. He probably would be the AG right now, maybe like with a 9, but you get the point that it was such a pathetic showing for the top of the ticket that it dragged everybody down so much that it is just shocking that she did this bad. Even most Democrats thought maybe plus 12 was Spanberger's best case scenario, not plus 15. And we're not even talking about what happened in the legislature, for crying out loud. Republicans, or Democrats, I should say, they nearly got a supermajority. They came very close to getting a supermajority in the state legislature. It was that bad, and Republicans have held on for a long time. They got obliterated. It was awful, and it wasn't just Virginia. Let's go to New Jersey. This was the other major race of the night, at least where Republicans had some kind of a chance. Jack Ciattarelli, who ran a good campaign, who was a strong candidate, he got crushed as well. He lost by over 13. It was awful, not just in Virginia, but in New Jersey. The one state that we've been talking about for a while as trending to the right. And it's based on party registration, it still is. But last night was a massive setback in Virginia and especially New Jersey. Obviously, Cheryl was the favorite. This is a Democrat state after all. But you lost by 13 points. Trump lost the state by what? 6? That's the problem. It's not that we lost Democrat states. That's one thing. We lose it by 5 or 6 points, whatever. It's how bad these defeats really were. And we're not even talking about other races in Georgia, Pennsylvania, we got crushed. It wasn't even just Democrat states. We're talking about Pennsylvania, up and down the ballot. Republicans got killed there. Georgia, that we lost by 35 points. California, their referendum was a disaster. So across the board, whether it was Democrat states, swing states, Republican states, there are really no positives outside of maybe one race in New York. I'm not even talking about the mayor race. It was a county executive race, and Republicans did very good in that seat, and a referendum in Texas. And that's about it. You did okay in Texas and a kind of Republican area in New York. Wow. What an accomplishment. Guys, this was a blue tsunami. This is beyond just a blue wave. This was a blue tsunami across the board. Let's cut the crap. Stop pretending, oh, it was actually not that bad. No, even in Democrat states, there still are benchmarks you want to reach, like in New Jersey. Okay, if Shinner Valley would have lost by 7 or 8, okay, it was bad, but it's not as bad as, say, losing by 13. That's the issue. We lost by 10, 15, 20 points. Some of these shifts were massive. I mean, look at places like Passaic County. Mikey Sherrill won this area by 15. President Trump won it by 3. Passaic County won like 18 points to the right. Morris County, Trump won by 3. Spanberger, or I should say Sherrill, she only won it by a point, but still, this part of the state has been trending rapidly to the right. Hudson, Sherrill won by 50. Trump lost it by only 28. A 22-point shift in Hudson. So it's not just Democrat areas becoming more Democrat. These are areas that, yeah, they voted for Harris, but these are areas becoming far more Republican. They swung 10, 15, 25 points back in 2024, and they basically reverse old trends last night. That's why this is so bad. Not just 1 or 2 bad results. Nearly every race that mattered, Republicans got killed. And we got to talk about why. Why did Republicans do so bad? Even in Democrat states, these results were worse than expected. This is worse than you would expect in New Jersey, and in Virginia, in Pennsylvania, in Georgia. And you're getting these morons like Mark Levin running around and giving explanations like this. Look at this crap. Mark Levin, who nobody should listen to, said, although New Jersey and Virginia are blue states, and New York City is now more pink than blue, if we do not defeat the quote-unquote bigots, racists, anti-Semites, anti-Christian elements trying to devour the GOP, we will lose in 2026 and 2028 in marginal and purple states. So you got morons like Mark Levin on election night, before we get any data, like no 100% in results, no precinct data, before any of that, he's blaming the racists of the Republican Party for losing. Excuse me, what? Your takeaways, we lost because we weren't pro-Israel enough. That's the only way to put this crap. We weren't pro-Israel enough, according to Mark Levin. No, this is bullshit. This thinking right here is why Republicans, before Trump, were a dying party. This party was dying. Nobody wanted to vote for them because of people like Mark Levin. Seriously, you're blaming anti-Semites for what happened on Tuesday. Are you serious? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. This is the thinking that cost Republicans last night or on Tuesday. Let's talk about why Republicans really lost. Not this bullshit of anti-Semitism or racism. This is a Democrat talking point. And you got experts, or quote-unquote experts like Mark Levin, who, by the way, these people are advising Trump. These people are telling Trump, yeah, this is what the base wants. This type of crap. You want to know why Republicans lost in Virginia, New Jersey, across the board? Let's look at the exit polls, which obviously exit polls, they can be very wonky, and especially on Tuesday, they had some weird results. But look at this. Most important issue facing Virginia. This is for the governor race. Immigration, 11%. And of course, Republicans won that issue big time. Okay, Republicans won immigration. Everything else, they got killed in. But the number one issue, which Republicans just a year ago won this issue by a big margin, and a big reason why Trump won in 2024, the economy. Winsome Sears lost this issue by 27. Voters that said the economy was the number one issue, which in Virginia was nearly half of the voters, said they are voting for Spanberger by 27 points. Let's go other places. New Jersey. 32% said the economy was the number one issue. Cheryl won these voters by 33. Keep going. New York City. Mamdani won voters that said cost of living was their number one issue with 66% of the vote. Cuomo got 29%. Sliwa got 4%. Yeah. And a majority of voters said cost of living was their number one issue. Notice a trend? Republicans got killed on Tuesday, not because of anti-Semitism or racism. Give me a freaking break. It's because the economy sucks, and people think the economy is dog shit, and Republicans aren't doing a damn thing about it. And that's the number one issue. People are saying the cost of living has gotten worse, and nobody else is saying anything except Mamdani. Yeah, so that's the real reason why Republicans, they did so bad on Tuesday. The economy sucks, they're not doing enough with cost of living, and their messaging has been terrible. And I don't care what people say, oh, inflation's gone down. Yeah, true. Inflation has gone down a little bit. That's true. But guys, just because the numbers might be showing, yeah, the economy is slightly improving in some areas, though the jobs market's garbage, but at least inflation's going down, at least on paper. Problem is, voters don't buy that. Look at this. This is a poll from Gallup. Only 24% of Americans said the economy is either excellent or good, and 37% said it's poor. Now, is that better than it was under Biden? Yeah, under Biden, especially in like 2023, like half the country said it was poor, less than 20% said it was good or excellent. So yes, it's gotten slightly better by like 2 points. Wow. But guess what? You cannot just keep saying, well, guys, Americans are paying less this Thanksgiving for food. Really? This is out of touch. Democrats did the same shit for years with Biden. People forget about this. Remember Bidenomics? The reason that blew up in their face was because they did the same thing. They were trying to gaslight Americans into saying, well, no, you're wrong. The economy is actually great. People don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear this idea that, oh, their perception of the economy, they're just wrong. Here's some bullshit stuff we made up that proves we're right. If people are saying the economy sucks, it doesn't matter what metric you put out, they're going to say the economy sucks. It's not working for people. This is the real reason. Not this bullshit explanation from some people. It's the economy. It's always been the economy. People are saying Trump's not done enough with the economy. He's barely trying. That's the perception. He's not fixing the issue at all. And when he does talk about it, he claims the economy is booming. That pisses people off. Why do you think Trump won in 24? There's a bunch of reasons like immigration, but the economy stunk. And Biden tried to gaslight the American people into thinking, oh, everything's perfectly fine. And it blew up in their face. That's the real reason why Republicans got crushed. And this should be a wake-up call for everybody. But the White House, they're still posting crap like this. Listen, the problem is not saying, hey, the cost for turkey is down or whatever. That's one thing. But to say we're in this golden age for the economy and things are going great, that's stupid. What you should be saying is, hey, the price of turkeys have gone down because of my policies. But you know what? The price of, like, I don't know, beef, housing, whatever, name something important to people. I don't know, just name something. It's still going up. And we got to solve that. So here's an executive order to address it. Or something. Not just say the economy is perfectly fine, because it makes you look out of touch. If you would tell people, hey, there's good parts in the economy and we're working on others, and here's an executive order, that would go a long way into giving people some kind of confidence in the economy and, like, things would get better. That's what Republicans have to do right now, not waiting 5 months. Do it now. Trump is running out of time. Guys, we are less than a year out from election, our 2026 election day. It's coming up very soon. And Republicans, they have to wake up to this now, especially Trump. Because if he does not address this now, his legacy forever will be tainted. He's got to wake up now and say, we got to focus on the economy. We got to get it going. Nobody can get a good job. Nobody can afford stuff. Things have gotten slightly better in some areas, but in some areas like the job market, it got even worse. So stop promoting this crap of, oh, Americans are doing so good. It makes you look out of touch. Address what people are saying. Don't ignore them and say, you're panicking. No, tell them, hey, prices for turkeys have gone down, but yeah, we got to fix prices for beef or whatever. That's what you have to do. Make it seem like you're at least trying to fix these issues. Now, obviously, there were other reasons why Republicans did so bad. You had the shutdown, which now Democrats know that, hey, shut down the government and we're getting millions of votes for free. That's the stunt they pulled. And it worked. It helped boost turnout a bunch, which I should address this, by the way. The electorates in Virginia and New Jersey, they were super Democrat. Harris plus 10, Harris plus 11, plus 12, plus 13. They were very Democrat, like a 7-point shift. It was clear Democrats, they got their voters out to vote. It was clearly a large reason why Republicans did so bad was because the turnout gap yet again was massive. It was a huge turnout drop across the board for Republicans. But still, there's a lot of Trump voters that on Tuesday said, this administration sucks. And that's why I'm voting for Cheryl or Spanberger or Jay Jones or whoever. You have to address this now. If you don't, your legacy will forever be tainted. And guess what? You really only got a couple months. Because you know what's going to happen on January 1st, 2026? You know what's going to happen? All these idiots in the House and the Senate for the Republicans, they're going to say, sorry, can't pass anything. It's an election year. You ought to tell Christmas to get stuff through. And you have to do it now. I'm not trying to be a panic. People are saying I'm a doomer. I'm just being a realist. Last night was so bad. It's a turnout problem. It's a messaging problem. It's a persuasion problem. It's a shutdown problem. Everything. And Republicans got to learn right now. You should have learned this last year. You should have learned this 3 years ago in 2022. Just focus on the economy. You probably would have Jason Ramirez as AG right now. Cheryl probably wins New Jersey, but it would have been a lot closer. Same thing with Sears. If the economy was not perceived as terrible like it is right now, according to Gallup, I mean, this is what people think. People think the economy sucks. It's gotten better slightly, but people are saying it's only fair. It's just slightly better than it was under Biden. That's not really saying much. And people think the economy is getting worse. 64% back in October said, yeah, the economy is getting worse, slightly lower than it was under Biden. Again, but it's still not enough. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.